Hey y'all, how you doing? It's my favorite day of the week, Thursday. How y'all doing? Happy Thursday. Feliz Quinta-feira. I am Krishan Wright. I'm the founder of Blaxit Global and the host of the Blaxit Global podcast. If you're a Black person and you're looking to move abroad, which if you're a Black person, most likely this idea has entered your brain a lot in the past, I don't know, 6 days, 5 days or so. I'm your girl. Hey, how you doing? I'm happy to be here with you, and here is in my home in Lisbon, Portugal. I left the U.S. at the end of 2023, right? September. Wow. I'm coming up on 11 months, y'all. Whew. Time flies when you're having fun. And let me tell you, your girl's been having fun. I had to sit on my hands this weekend and not leave the house. But Monday I was out, taken out again because I'm still celebrating my birthday. Taken out for lunch. And then Tuesday, Pilates. And y'all, they have boozy gelato here. And what's today? Today's Thursday, right? So what did I do yesterday? I don't even know. It's all a blur. No. I do remember now. I do remember. I had a lot of meetings yesterday, and then went to a great event, the Lisbon Wine Society. Rory puts that on, and we had a lovely event with a Black NGO in Lisbon and hung out there. And then today I was out like first thing in the morning, doing some stuff, and it's been a full week. And then I have a full Friday. Yeah. And I'm getting prepped for welcoming our Nomad Noir cohort. We had a fabulous Zoom calls this past weekend for our 3-week cohort and our 1-week cohort. So if you are interested in scouting Portugal with me as your guide, definitely hit the link in the description below because the waitlist for 2025 is there. It's growing. So it tells me that there's a lot of demand. So happy to help, but definitely hit the wait list and we can get you on your journey. What other announcements? So last week we had Michelle Wedderburn on, lovely Michelle Casa Elm. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Tracy on because she was being impacted from the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. Definitely sending love to everyone who has been impacted by the hurricanes and also the severe weather. Like there's been extreme weather, affecting much of the U.S. So Tracy couldn't be here, but Michelle was here, and just want to remind folks that the Redefining Life Abroad Virtual Summit is taking place October 10th and 11th. I am proud to be a media sponsor for that, so you can click the link in the description of the video if you're interested in getting a ticket. You can learn about financial planning, a brick and mortar, lots of information really to help you in that transition of what happens when the patina wears off and you're like, oh, I'm abroad, right? I'm abroad. That's abroad, right? So definitely hit that and have fun. Have fun. Great women. You'll get lots of information to help you on your journey. So excited. Other announcements, and then I'll do some hellos. So we are putting on the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit yet again. So definitely hit the description again. The wait list is, yes, we are still in the wait list. So for those of you who attended our meetup, those people are buying their tickets, like the early birds. But Those tickets will go on sale. For everyone else, we'll be doing that in the coming weeks. I'm trying to fight off a sneeze. But that was all the big stuff there. And we have a channel member in the house. Hey, Patricia's in the house. Hey, yes, tonight. I was like thinking like, earlier this week, what I wanted to talk about. And I was leaning towards one, and this one was just like, no, I got to talk about this. So we got to talk about it tonight. We got to talk about it. Got to keep y'all safe. So let's see who was first in the chat. Tanya, you were first. Hey girl, hey. Teresa's in the house. Boa noite. Missing you too. I was talking about you today. All good things always. I was like, oh yeah. I said, Teresa and her husband went with me when I picked up my yacht the first time. Yay. I miss you. Mary's in the house. Miss Zany. Hey, Marguerite. Hey, Nicole. Long time no see. Janelle. Yes. The ABX girl is in the house. Hey, Jan. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Frederica. I want to know when I'm going to see Frederica in person. When's that happening? Maureen. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Hey, Chef B in the place to be. Global Women Warriors. Yes. Oh, Neurospicy. Yes. Hey. Shannon. Awesome. How are you? And Action BJ. Hey, how you doing? Oh, is that Comfort? Hey, you're catching me live. Awesome. Yes. These stories need attention. And hey, Kimmy. So yeah, let's talk about it. You know, there's a lot of shenanigans happening, as you can tell, in the United States. And I was actually trying to find a picture. I shared it on my Instagram story. So for those of you who follow blaxitglobal, we're blaxitglobal everywhere. So on Instagram, I was trying to pull up the picture, but of course I waited till the last minute, of the maggots with now they're sporting like bandages on their ears at the RNC convention, and they all like, right? And he's like, God saved me. It's like, oh. So I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, okay, I'm already 50, so I don't care about dating myself because I'm a good date. But I thought, remember the drink, Colt 45? I was like, Colt 45, because that's what they are, a cult of 45. I'm like, y'all need to sit your asses down. What? Just when I think like the U.S. can't like do anything else, it like hits a new low. It's like when the stock market is tanking and you like, well, what's going on? And then your stock hits another new low, and you're like, but we was going up. And it's like, no, we're gonna hit a new low. Or for the traders in the world, right? You know, when you have a level and then it's like it blows through the level, you're like, what's going on? Momentum, right? My trader friends will know what all that means. So I'm sitting there watching all the shenanigans, which is, I have to say, much easier to watch when you're here. Not entirely, but, right? Because loved ones there. But, oh my gosh, I'm like, there's no floor. That's the conclusion I've come to, is that there's new lows because there's no floor, right? And, you know, say what you will about, well, let me not go there first. Let me finish my earlier thought, which was earlier this year. I remember going live and saying, I was like, what is going on? There's a video where I had Get Out, right? And I said, y'all about to let 45 become 47? So now all this big money, right, has entered the chat, and they're pulling out all the stops. The Winklevoss twins, Elon Musk, if you have a Tesla, sell it. Right? All of these like fools, right? Because they want that's their guy. Doesn't matter, right? So gone are the days where, they do stuff in silence, right? In silence. And now it's like we just gonna be full on racist, which, we saw a couple weeks ago when they had the demonstration. I think it was like in Virginia, and the guy was like on a horse, and then they gaslight you like, oh, well, we're not being racist. Like Project 2025 is not about race. I mean, we're a colorblind society. Then you got these fools like Tim Scott out there and Nimrata Haley, aka Nikki Haley. You can whitewash your name all you want, Nimrata. Same thing with that fool Amber Rose. What's her real name? Amber Rose Leverchuck. And out there doing a damn rap song, a Trump rap song. I'm like, they not like us, right? But the problem with this stuff is that normalizing this foolishness, right? The media also has a role in this, right? Because it was quiet for a little while when they banned him off of social media. But now he has so much money, right? Not just in his coffers, but, Truth Social is now a publicly traded stock. You have all of these other entities. Like I said, big money has entered the chat. And so we got on the other side, Joe, who I didn't remember, y'all. I didn't see the debate. Still haven't watched it. Was on the yacht. Have no desire to see it. But Joe is compromised. He's challenged. And now big money has left him. And not only big money, because typically with the Democrats, right, liberals, you also had the celebrities with you. So now we're seeing the celebrities pull back and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, so a bad debate was your floor, not funding genocide in Gaza. Noted. Say what you will about 2025, Project 2025. It's a white supremacist manifesto, right? One thing I will say about it, though, is that, damn, they wrote 900 and some odd pages about their plan. Could the Dems come back with, like, I don't know, half that amount in terms of what we gonna do? Republicans play the long game. And what they're doing by dismantling DEI, by taking out things like critical race theory, by saying we're a colorblind society in America, is further gaslighting, which brings us to tonight's topic. I, also run Blaxitglobal Passport, where I help travelers and people who want to move abroad, right? Black people that want to move abroad. And I'm always sharing articles daily, right? In addition to our accountability groups. And so I'm noticing as I kind of scan the universe, patterns. So I'm seeing patterns with Black people getting kicked off of airlines. And I'm like, what? What is going on, right? Rewind for a second. 2 years ago, it was actually when I started planning my birthday party. I was in Bali, first time on a yacht. And I was like, ooh, I gotta have this for my 50th, right? So when I went on that trip, it was a group trip, and I didn't know any of the ladies there, but one of the ladies wound up arriving late. And it was because she was booted off of a flight. This was 2 years ago. And so she was en route. And I remember the way she told it was like she went to board, she had her ticket, and you print out your ticket at the kiosk or print it at home or whatever, or had it in her phone. But then they called her to the counter before she boarded, and they gave her a new ticket. Now, she had purchased her seat and seat assignment. And so her ticket was then given to a non-black person. And she was like, wait, what? My seat, where'd it go? Right? So of course she's like, wait, I chose the seat, like da-da-da. No, so because remember, as soon as you say something to them, TSA has a lot of power, right? TSA is probably in the same camp of Homeland Security, right? So she got booted off the airline, had to then rebook with another airline. They didn't put her on like a no-fly list, like you can't fly anywhere with any airline, but she couldn't fly with the airline that she had rewards, had frequent flyer program, had the whole bit. This was 2 years ago, right? 2 years? Yeah, 2 years ago, July, right? So fast forward to me now seeing a pattern and rise of Black people, mostly Black men, getting booted off of airlines. So there was the one incident, and I had to pull it up. And it was, I'm just going to look at it because there were, like I said, there have been many. But there was the one recently was 3 passengers who alleged, but I'm saying it, we know they did it. American Airlines, right? Put some of their staff on leave because they asked 3 Black men to be removed from the plane because they said they stink. Now, us who have introduced soap and fragrances to the world, in addition to spices, coolness, all things wonderful, you gonna tell me we gonna get on a plane smelling like whatever? Please. When those non-melanated folks sit on there, stink be damn, right? I live in Europe now. Let me tell you something. When them temperatures get like 30 Celsius, baby, y'all the same jokers that be on the plane with the rowdy kids, putting your bare feet on shit. Really? Okay, I'll play along. So they booted them off the plane. There was another incident where another man, I didn't pull that article up, around the same time. Thankfully, yes, it was 3 Black men. Yes, because I ain't talking about nobody else. So they were removed from the plane. So, of course, being removed, right, you're humiliated and embarrassed. So their names were Alvin Jackson, Emmanuel, Jean Joseph, and Xavier Veal. And so they have filed a lawsuit since then, right? And then there was another man, I'm not sure if it was a week or 2 before or a week or 2 after. But apparently in 2017, the NAACP had warned Black travelers to avoid American Airlines because, which I didn't know that, right? Because of disrespectful and discriminatory behavior. Now, 2017 was still the era of the maggot in chief. And now we're entering what looks like a potential, more than not probable, return. And even if there isn't, because of the tension and this, friction of, and gaslighting, right? That gets in our head. Oh, was it race? no, it couldn't have been that. I mean, they were really smelly. You know, all that little stupid shit that they do. It's like, no, you hit them in the pockets. You sue their asses, right? So those incidents had happened earlier this year. But again, thank God for Benjamin Crump. He stays busy. But he's representing these gentlemen, right? So fast forward to, again, like I said, notice the patterns. This past weekend, and Shannon right, caught it too. Peppa, aka Sandy Denton from Salt and Pepper. She was on a plane, and I'm gonna pull up that article. I read it earlier when it happened, but I wanted to get it right. So this was on Southwest Airlines. So she was flying somewhere, and apparently she had an incident, a car accident, maybe like 2018. And so as a result, she wears a brace. I'm not sure if all the time, or at least when she flies, right? And so she had 2 seats as a result, because she wanted to have the ability to put her leg up. Her ticket was then labeled, I think, disabled, because she also needed wheelchair assistance, I believe, on and off the plane. Fine. That's typical. So she boarded Southwest, an airline that I've never flown. But I believe, and y'all keep me honest here, I think Southwest is that airline that lets you, like, pick your seat. I don't know, but you can tell me. But in any event, so she got on a plane, had her 2 seats, and this other non-melanated gentleman, right? And I use gentleman loosely, comes on the plane, and he's like, I want that seat. But that's my seat. Oh, no. I want that seat because I'm going to a funeral. What? To which they say to her, oh, well, we could move you to the exit row and in the back middle of the plane so you have more leg room. Now, I've never been a flight attendant, but I do know that when you are in the exit row, they have this whole speech that you have to verbally confirm that in the event of emergency, you are able to assist in said emergency, temporarily working for the airline for free to help you get people's ass off the plane. Well, if you have a bum leg, kind of means you can't do that. And that's what she said, right? So she's texting her assistant, like, what the hell is going on? These people are playing in my face. Her assistant says, you should record. I don't believe she actually did record, but they then said, oh, you're being combative and aggressive and are now a flight risk. So they booted her off the plane. Pepper from Salt and Pepper. Push it. Yeah, Salt and Pepper. What a man, what a... Salt and Pepper. Yes. And then the one that most of y'all probably heard of was the incident that happened with Terrell Davis, the pro NFL player, Super Bowl, right? I don't follow football that much. However, I do know who he is. And he was on a United flight. So if y'all paying attention, we've talked about American Airlines, we've talked about Southwest Airlines, and now we're talking about United Airlines, right? United Airlines. So he's on a flight to California with his family, his wife and 3 children. And when you have that many, right, so he had the sons with him, and I believe the daughter was sitting next to his wife, and they start beverage service. The guy comes with the cart, and I know this to be true, right, because when I flew out of here in April, I flew domestic back to the U.S., and it was a very unpleasant experience. Nothing close to what he encountered. But I remember feeling like, damn, this is going to be the last fucking time I'm about to get on a domestic airline. into the US because the staff is so, oh my gosh. And I know that it's not everybody, right? But because I do have friends that work for airlines, but they're just miserable. Miserable. You see them walking in there miserable. They're just miserable, right? Versus the ones that are in international airlines. Oh my gosh. Emirates, baby. Singapore Airlines, whoo-hoo. What? I've flown some nice planes and private. And you may. So, getting back to Terrell. The guy comes with the beverage cart with his little attitude. And so he's like, what do you want to drink? So he's like, so children say their order. He slams the cup down like aggressively. He's like, looking at him. So, and kids have headphones in, they're playing with their iPad. Like, oh, shoot, Dad, I want some ice. Can I have some ice? To the guy pushing the cart. He ignores it. Of course, he'll claim he didn't hear it. Bullshit. He ignores it. To which he starts to pass Terrell, and he says, oh, taps the guy on the shoulder. Hey, could my son get some ice? To which, right, hyper reaction. Don't hit me. And then leaves the cart in the aisle and scurries his little punk ass to the front of the plane, where he there stays for the duration of the flight, to which somebody else has to come and complete the bottle service, right? Beverage service. Terrell thinks nothing of it because, A, he didn't hit this guy. Even another passenger was like, what the hell is that all about? You didn't hit him. Fine. Flies the rest of the flight to when they land. And they land and they say, oh, normally, as soon as they land, people turn on their phones, unclicking the seatbelt, ain't even pushed up to the gate, ready to start taking the stuff from the overhead. They're like, nope, sit down. Everybody's like, what? Who gets on the plane when the door finally does open? FBI agents. Big old FBI across their chest. To which they approach Terrell directly. They get on the plane. Don't say, oh, who we looking for, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. Get on the plane, go directly to his seat. And then one of the agents whispers in his ear, don't fight it. And then puts him in handcuffs in front of his children and his wife. No, hey, I'm here to ask you questions. Would you mind getting off the plane? Are you Terrell? Was there an incident? Can we have a few words? No, don't fight it. So as a black man in America, Nimrata Haley and that Uncle Tom, Tim Scott, says it's not a racist country. What does he do? What's he going to do on a plane? He's not going to fight it. He got up and got off the plane. Did anybody get up there and help his wife and kids? Nope. So now she's trying to get his stuff off the plane, trying to figure out how to get to where they got to go. Because now you can't even proceed to what you were supposed to do, which was be on vacation with your kids during summer, like any normal person. Now you have to deal with this. And so why do I say these things? It's because regardless of income, education, anything, right? Because we done went the spectrum from average Joes all the way up to musicians, celebrities. Various airlines. Honey, we are under siege. So I said a lot. I'm going to pause a little bit because I see the chat done. Boop, 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 boop. Lit up like a Christmas tree. So let me go back and see what y'all thinking and what y'all feeling. Okay, let me see. In the chat roll. Okay, I got to get past where we were before. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, part of it is you also have, black folks in there. Remember, proximity to whiteness is a powerful drug, right? You even have people that look like us that have no problem selling us out. Oh yeah, they going after JD's wife, JD Vance, wife, big time. Well, I don't know if you follow Jessica Lee on Instagram or Facebook. Oh man, she is spot on all that stuff. Yeah, because you think proximity to whiteness is going to help you. Good luck with that. I know. Okay. All right. Now I'm kind of caught up. Okay. American airline companies or all airlines. It so far has been U.S. airlines. That's a great question. So it's been mostly U.S. airlines. I have not seen the pattern on international flights. So it is not for anyone to make like a leap of that it won't happen, but it's to say that it has happened primarily that I've seen with American Airlines, United Airlines, Southwest Airlines. And it's becoming a problem, right? Let's see. Yep, they booted Peppa. So Southwest is. Thank you for confirming. I was like, I thought Southwest, I've never flown them, was like first come, first serve. But like you pick your seat and you have 2 seats that you paid for. But you had to give up your seat. But then they were like, oh, we just going to boot you off the plane because you were flight risk. Okay, Patricia. Black American judge, she was exited from a plane by law enforcement for questioning, closing a bathroom door too hard, and her husband wouldn't change his seat. What? Oh, I didn't even see that one. What? Thank you for sharing that. I did not even see that one. So again, judge, regular Joe, celebrities, pro athletes, right? And I say all these things to say we have to be aware. We have to be vigilant. It's not to say, oh, don't fly or don't, now I can't do enough of that. Right? Right. Because if nothing else, America is great at making your world small. That making you think that you can't do anything, right? You just do the same thing over and over again, rinse and repeat. It's Groundhog Day. You don't even realize, right, that the lid is off the jar. So it's not to say that you can't travel. What I am going to do partly my tips, as well as hopefully you'll have some of your own. We'll think about ways that we can keep ourselves safe in these increasingly unfriendly skies. I know, I'm on my little Krishan-isms tonight. So Shannon said they told Peppa that it's completely up to the discretion of the flight attendant. So basically, if they don't like your vibe, you're out of there. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Again, flight attendants, flight crew, as well as TSA, even when you're, I've been spoken to from agents with aggression, right? They have a lot of leeway. And so you're doing this cost benefit analysis of, well, shit, if I say something to this person, this underpaid but overly powerful person, who's going to get hurt in this scenario? I like to fly. I like to be in these skies. I like to be in these international streets. I do not want your ass getting in my way of having fun, right? So if you having a bad day, you want to be an ass, that's on you, right? How I respond to that is completely up to me, right? So I would say the first tip for that, right, is be calm. Even though this is frustrating as hell, if you encounter such foolishness, you have to stay calm. You can't come out your face. You can't match that energy because it's only going to continue to escalate the situation and it's going to be bad for you, right? Yes, in this instance with American Airlines, those agents were suspended. The one with United Airlines that just recently happened with Terrell, he was not taken to jail because they quickly, thankfully, were able to determine that the flight attendant was being an ass. So he is suspended pending an investigation, should fire his ass immediately. And United, let's note, has not apologized to him. They quote unquote have through their attorneys, very corporate, but not for the humiliation, the embarrassment, right? That's a trauma that's going to stay with him, his wife, and his kids forever. Ever. Same with Peppa, right? She couldn't go to her business meeting. That was the whole purpose for her being on a flight that I think in the article I read that she takes regularly. Delta has been, okay, I'll take your word for that. And JetBlue, I think I've flown JetBlue once. Never really had any bad experiences. Yeah, Terrell and his wife were on Good Morning America yesterday. So you can use your Googles, get that video, see the whole interview. This was my reenactment. But yeah, this is Trump's America. Yeah, because it's sitting there. You got, Stephen Smith. You've got Tim Scott. You've got Uncle Clarence. And basically they've stacked the court. So, and these jokers have lifetime appointments. So even, and I'm not saying don't vote. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm saying is America is a corporation. It is not a country. And so the way that you also stay safe is you insure yourself every time you leave your house. Okay? So if you need to buy insurance, right? Buy a term life policy, insure your life first. You gonna travel? Get travel insurance. It does not cost a lot, either of those. Term life insurance, nor does travel insurance. If you need help with travel insurance, you can go to blaxitglobal.com. Under the resources tab, you should see, I think, second or third link down. You can get a free quote, IMG. Several people actually with the Nomad Noir crew took advantage of that. It's very low cost. I use it every time I fly. You can get a quote and see maybe like $30, $40, right? Cover yourself, protect yourself. Because guess what? When they got to cut checks, people start acting much better, right? You can also notify the NAACP, right? These things are breaches of our civil rights that we have fought for. So notify them, because help them see the patterns. Not all of these things are bubbling to the surface. While these were unfortunate events, I'm glad that Terrell and Sandy, aka Peppa, were able to share their stories, because it elevated that if it's happening to us, it's going to happen to you. Right? Hit them where it hurts. Don't fly their airlines, right? If you're flying international, or like I said, there are other routes with all these things with the Boeing planes. I'm like, look, I don't care how long it takes me to get somewhere. Yeah, I'll do an Airbus or another, type of jet before I do a daggone Boeing again. Especially after watching that documentary. Digress a minute, but especially after watching that documentary last week. Oh my gosh. And that documentary came out 2 years ago, before this recent spat of Boeing incidences. You gotta watch it. Anyway, I digress. What? A Southwest flight attendant threw a bag of pretzels at me at a window seat. Wow. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Wow. Yeah. And it's like your side of the story is irrelevant in these scenarios. Yeah. And don't fight it. Yeah, absolutely. Meant you're not going to win. Yeah. Because what happens if you get aggressive, right? Or they perceive it as aggressive, right? Absolutely. Buck breaking. That's what that is. And they'll gaslight and deny 6 different ways to Sunday that, the race didn't play a factor. And again, Republicans play a good long game. They have since Nixon, right? Even when they have lost elections, right? They have played a strong, long game, because they said, we lost the big one. But what they did, embed, right? Move their chess pieces, move their bishops and all of that, right? Into local races, right? Judges and sheriffs and superintendents, right? All of these things matter. So yes, we have to vote. We might not like the fact that we have these bag of bones as options, but it's bigger than that, right? It's the ground game. Can't help that the Dems don't have their shit together. They never have, but, right? We can't rely on them, because we, as Black people, have to have a stronger and more unified base with one another, because we are at a disadvantage, because we are so embedded in their institutions and systems that not only embedded, but some of us are psychologically wedded to those systems. And so you need to go through a process of decoupling to get out of that, to get out of the matrix. And so that is what I suggest we do. Absolutely. Yes. And I foresee the no-fly list being weaponized. I foresee as the changing of the guard happens, that we will see an increase in this. So recap: 1, stay calm. 2, be insured. And not just travel. Get a term life policy. Because they need to be cutting checks. Right? Report it. Report it to authorities. Report it to NAACP. We need to start documenting. That's the other thing. Document. Everybody has their phone, right? You all have your little phones. Trust your gut. Start learning how to trust your gut. You know when my brother says this all the time, when your spidey senses are tingling and you're like, well, did they? As soon as you had this thought of did they, that's already you trying to second guess your internal compass, your internal GPS. Because we've been second guessed, gaslit, all of that, taught not to trust ourselves, taught not to trust our intuition. When you have that feeling like, wait a second, click that button. I remember my job and I was feeling that kind of way and they would piss me up. Every time we had a conversation, I was like, record. But I was also in a one-party state, meaning I was in a state that you did not have to inform the other party that you were recording. You could just record. Some are, you have to know what state you're in. Some are a two-party state in which you have to disclose that you're recording, but I was in a one-party state. I record. If I don't trust you, I record. I record everything. Yeah. So yeah, hit that button. Put their ass on blast on social media. Tag the media. Tag Black media. Tag Black influencers. Right? Yes. Thank God for Ben Crump. But it can't all be on Brother Crump. That's the other thing, right? Is Crump got a lot on his docket, sadly, right? Rightfully and also sadly. But who's the next Crump? Right? It took us a long time to get a Ben Crump out there. The others have been compromised and bought or dead. So we have to save ourselves. And we can do that, right? Because we've always made a way out of no way. We always made a way out of no way when we were trafficked to the Americas and other parts of the world. But we have to stop trying to build up they shit. I ain't trying to save the kidnapper. Let them eat themselves. If you listen to the Black Global podcast, I think it was the second episode, maybe third this season. I had a conversation with Michael Ashanti, who renounced his citizenship, and that was a long episode, but it was worth it. But he goes into, and we talk a little bit about, everything that's happening with Trumpism and things like that. And you see what's happening now, right? Big money is flowing to Trump. Not just the conservative nuts like, Elon Musk and the Winklevoss and all them other jokers, right? But then you also have white liberals who can't trust them because they talk out both sides of their neck, right? Because I wasn't great at math in school. Okay, I was an honor student, but I wasn't great at math. But Black people make up 13% of the U.S. population. 13. That's about 42 million. Hispanics are about 50 million. Whites, 220 something. Asians make up a smaller cut, right? Indigenous people. Okay. So, in order for you, because you know what they're doing now is, black men are voting for Trump. Black people, you ain't about to you ain't about to pin this shit on us. Like I said, I wasn't great at math, but 40 million, let's even do round numbers, 40 million people total. That's adults, kids, seniors, everything, right? So now let's do those that are eligible to vote, because you have to take out felons in most states, right? Those are incarcerated. Can't take off kids. So maybe you're looking at 20 million. And that's assuming all 20 million vote, right? You don't get 100%. So let's slice it even more. So you mean to tell me maybe 10 to 15 million is supposed to affect the 200 and some odd million of y'all? They vote against their interests all the time. Started in 2016. You see it now, right? And I told my mother earlier this year, I said the election will be decided before Election Day. Why? Because history repeats itself. Why? Gore v. Bush. The Supreme Court intervened. They stopped the counting. That's why Gore wasn't president. They stopped the counting in Florida, where Jeb Bush was governor and his brother was running for president. Conflict of interest much? And now, fast forward to 2024, the conservative court, right, 6-3, have rubber stamped the orange dictator 34 count indictment, felon, multiple convicted sex offender in chief to return. And good, bad, or indifferent, I will say this about the Republicans. They'll stand behind that candidate. He's flawed as hell, right? Your Christian nationalism and all of that stuff. He is the antithesis of everything you claim you want, right? Claim your values. Oh, and let's put the 10 Commandments in class. He's the antithesis of all of that. But they don't care. They will stand behind their guy. Storm the Capitol. Stand behind my guy, right? Dems, we got Joe in the corner. Y'all wait till 4 months before the election to be whispering in his ear sweet nothings? I mean, how's this going to play out? I almost want to get a Hulu subscription and start picking up where I left off with The Handmaid's Tale. I had to stop because it was getting too close for comfort. But I'm like, I need to know how this ends. Because it's just crazy. It's crazy. Joe sitting up there in where is he in? Delaware with COVID. They whispering sweet nothings. Obama, Pelosi, Schiff in his ear. Y'all thought about this now? So what are we supposed to do? Wait till the convention? What? But again, that's why you don't trust them liberals, them white liberals. Why? Because they have guilt. They don't want to be seen like the bad guy, right? They want to be seen like the bad guy. So we just be like, oh, well, it was out of concern, right? They benefit from the establishment too. This is white lash, right? You had 8 years of a black president and his family occupying the White House. Occupying the White House, right? And you have a white lash. No different than when Lincoln emancipated the enslaved. What was the white lash? They killed him. MLK, what was the white lash? Like, connect the dots. So, with everything that's going on, who stands to lose in these scenarios? Us, sadly. So I have been on the soapbox for 4 years now. Say it's time to stop. It's time to leave. It's time to cash out. It's time to let them work their shit out. Because we will lose. We will continue to lose. They will continue to blame us. They will continue to disrupt our world. So how do you arm yourself? You get your passport. You fly on airlines. You look at the terms and conditions. Know your rights. Know your rights. Even though many of us, rightly so, are realizing that we probably have less rights. Well, not probably, we do. We have less rights for most of us than we had when we entered the world. Right? When I entered the world, we still had Roe v. Wade. Anything amended can be unamended. Yes, great question. Yes, so Kemi, yes, predominantly happening in the U.S., and it is called, great question, let me look it up now. It's on Netflix. It's called Downfall. And it was directed by Rory Kennedy, and I believe it was produced by Ron Howard. And interestingly, and I won't tell the whole thing, but interestingly and infuriatingly, many of the incidents, well, not many, all of the incidences that were happening with Boeing planes that they talk about, not surprisingly, all of them were pinned on, I wouldn't say black people, but people of color. Not surprisingly. Yeah. But then it's like, is it like these one-off incidences, or are people like, I don't know. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like I said, they played the long game. So we don't know who's embedded where. Right? You can sue, you can get a judge that's sympathetic to the airlines, in which case you can either lose or appeal, but you have to do something, right? You can't just sit there and let them do what they're doing. Because again, then there's those people like who will be like, fight, fight, fight. And there are people who are like, oh, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm like, look, I'm not getting on a Boeing plane anytime soon. Maybe I need to embrace cruising for a little bit. That's okay. Maybe at 50, I need to learn how to swim. Okay? Right? I'm not letting anybody stop me. Nope, nope, nope. They didn't need any FBI agents. But they had a big black man on there. And most likely, one of them realized who the hell it was, and they were like, whoops. Yeah, they've been playing chess the whole damn time. And don't fall into the distraction trap. Transition to text said terrible Turkish airline flight to Morocco in 2023. Wow. Guy behind me kicked my seat, LAX to Istanbul. The only other black person on the flight sat next to me. We made a pact to protect each other. Amen. Sorry that happened to you. Yeah, you'll see that. Actually, there was, keep me honest, y'all, wasn't it like, I think probably like 2 years ago, where Mike Tyson was on a plane and the guy behind him kept provoking him. And Mike gave him a little taste. His eye was like hanging out his face. Served his ass right. What? You want the smoke? You don't want the smoke? Don't play with fire. What? Ooh, Frederica. It's almost impossible. Let's say this again. It is almost impossible to get off the no-fly list once DHS puts you on it. Being disruptive with airport personnel can land you on a list. Stay calm, and recording is essential. Absolutely. You have to find it within yourself, as frustrating, infuriating, dehumanizing, humiliating, all of that is, you have to find it within yourself not to react. Does it suck that we have to essentially self-police ourselves and suppress injustice? Yes. But if you do that, you fly again, right? And you just prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Make an example. And how do you make an example? Like I said, make sure you're insured. Make sure you always have travel insurance. Make sure you always have a term life insurance policy. Because let me tell you, once the U.S. goes in the direction where it looks like it's going to be open season. And they only respond to money, of which they claim they don't have, but they can fund like multiple wars, decades-long wars, print money, more money in 25 years. More money, take that back. More money in 3 years was printed than there was in the past 25 during the pandemonium. But yet they can't pay reparations. It's just to protect yourself, right? If your, flight gets interrupted, if you are declined boarding, like, you have certain rights. And actually, the Department of Transportation just made some rules to enhance the rights of passengers on airlines, whether with respect to delays, lost luggage, denied boarding, all of those things. What I'm saying is get yourself abreast of what those changes are, but protect yourself monetarily. A $30 investment that, if they act a fool, could lead to hundreds, maybe thousands in your pocket. Who knows, right? But at least you have something. At least you've done all that you can do in this situation. You can't control everything. You can't keep it from happening. But what you can do is empower yourself and be proactive. Okay. Yep. And put air tags on your bags. Put air tags. Go buy those air tags. Make sure you have it, because let me tell you, shenanigans. Yep. Yep. Let's see. Yes, which is why I've always encouraged people, like, moving abroad, living abroad is not as expensive as people think it is. We're not gonna like go too deep into that tonight, because I've had now 69 episodes of the Blacks Global podcast. Y'all got the game, right? Yes, it's Downfall. It's on Netflix, and I think it's Netflix. Yeah, it was on Netflix, and it's the Boeing documentary. Came out 2 years ago, so it basically covers the incidences that happened up to when they grounded the fleet during the pandemonium. Thank you, Action VJ. I appreciate it. Yes, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. He blowing his nose talking about, why don't they like me? Yeah, like, you ain't know before then. Somebody said they propped Joe up like, what was that movie? Oh, you guys, oh my gosh. They propped Joe up. What was that movie? I'm terrible at remembering some of these things. Weekend at Bernie's. I was like, welcome. No. Weekend at Bernie's. Then there's a video from today. I didn't see it. My mom told me about it, but I couldn't find it. It was when he was leaving Air Force One today and trying to get into his car, the SUV, and they were like, he had trouble getting in the car. Actually, if you've seen the video, it was on another video. It was on my Instagram stories after the debate, where they showed another angle from after the debate. You know, the lights are starting to go down, and 45 leaves, doesn't say anything to anybody, shake any hands, doesn't talk to the moderators, just walks out by himself. And then Joe is with his wife, and he's like doing the shuffle game, and he just has to go down like 2 steps to where the moderators are and turn sideways and holding on to Jill. I'm like, bruh. But this whole debate about ageism and, you know, their age, their mental acuity, and all this other stuff, it's like, ageism exists in America. So if the person in the highest office of the land got to deal with it, those that be like, oh, I'm a work till I die, I'm a stay working and get all the Social Security. Boo boo. That is not a plan. That is not a plan. Oh yeah, Reagan had Alzheimer's, clearly. They were covering it up. Hey, Gallivant Grandma, how you doing? Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh, whoo, baby. I had a coworker, it was a white liberal, and it was like, oh, but had a lot of comments that were very much in the 45 camp. But remember, that's what makes them dangerous, right? They play both sides. They don't want to say, oh, I'm down with the red caps, right? So they'll dance around it and be like, oh, no, but you know. So it was very much like, oh, I can't believe. I'm like, oh, you should be happy. Like Joe's the guy. That Kamala. I don't want my daughter even looking up to her. So yeah, they're scared shitless. So you think Obama being a black man, no scandal, right? Whole 8 years. Or his children. Because remember when Bush was in office, some of us of a certain age should remember this, right? Them Bush twin girls, they was dipping on that Secret Service all the time. All the time. So you know they lost their shit over Obama. Kamala, a black woman, president. That's a bridge too far. That's a bridge too far. They will lose their shit. That's why they are like, oh, hell no, right? Everything is driven by their own insecurity. That's a them problem. Absolutely. I'm registered to vote. Voting from abroad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier. Anything amended can be unamended. They coming for us. They coming for gay marriage. You don't have to read all of Project 2025. You can skim it. Skim for the low notes. That's why you have to have a plan. Those that fail to plan to fail. Get your residency in another country, right? I did a video earlier this year, top 10 places that we're looking at. I'll do something else. But yeah, get out. That's my recommendation. Yes, so it is called Downfall. And it's about Boeing and basically, if you guys were paying attention, that's probably where I wanted to go before. Kind of related, but not. Going back to the documentary, because I see a couple questions on that. So the documentary, I won't give anything away, covers the period of what led up to the planes that were grounded, the fleet, when it was grounded for 18 months, right? The 737 MAX after those 2 crashes. Very, very enlightening. But it does not cover the recent events, but all related. And last week, I believe, or the week before last, Boeing pled guilty to 1 count of basically hiding information from the FAA with respect to the 737 MAX, right? So once you watch the documentary, it'll all make sense. But you know, I feel for those victims and their families. But it was only more confirmation. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. I was like, oh, I was like Bernie's, but I couldn't remember the title. Oh yeah. Oh gosh, the Karens and Kens. I mean, y'all know I talk about it on the podcast. They coming out, right? And they don't have to wear a hood anymore, right? They don't even have to wear the MAGA cap. Now they got little patches on their ears, right? Colt 45. Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to skim. I think I got a lot. I don't think I skipped any questions. Let's see. Yep, them Bush girls was wilding. They was wilding in the White House. Hey, Iris, how are you? They were wilding. Let me just look at my list real quick and see. Yes, so I said stay calm, use social media, get your insurance, and then like look at these airlines. We talked about some of the airlines tonight, right? So if you have frequent flyer miles, if you're part of those programs and you don't like this, let them know. Let them know. Like, no, I've been a frequent flyer for with United for X amount. Like, what is this? What are you prepared to do? Where's the apology, right? Because honestly, if an unfortunate thing happens to you, you would want the community to come out and support you, right? So yes, Terrell has, celebrity, he has money. So does Sandy Denton, aka Peppa. But they don't need to stand alone in this, right? We can be our brothers and sisters' keeper. File a complaint if something happens, and yeah, document everything, everything, everything. Yep, I know. No, cult 45, because they're a cult. That, how else do you put this on your ear? You have not been shot. You have not been grazed by a bullet. But y'all put bandages on your. But these are the same people that want to protect the Second Amendment, right? They're like, oh, it's so cool. Oh my gosh. And now that he survived, now they really think he's the second coming. What? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yes. Yes. Michelle said, you can vote from abroad if you have proper long-term visa. If you're only on a tourist visa, you need to vote in absentia before you leave. Absolutely. And that whole voting thing is the craziest thing. But again, everything's by design, right? They don't try to make it easier for you. Like in Portugal, granted, not apples to apples because we're talking about a country of 10 million versus a country of 323 million with the United States, not apples to apples. But you can vote anywhere. As long as you're in the country, you can vote anywhere. So I live in Lisbon. Maybe I'm Porto, right? Assuming I was a citizen, right? During election, I could vote there. So we could vote for the American Idol. We can move money, right? I invest. We can post social media. We can do a lot of things, right? So we've kind of solidified that the internet exists and it's secure. But we somehow have to have these archaic machines and mail and paper ballots to vote for the most important office in the land, the president. Okay, America. Okay. Whatever you say, girl. Molly, you in danger, girl. Yes. All right. I think we did it. Y'all, okay. I think we did it. Thank you for tuning in. I know it was a lot we talked about. Not all, like, it wasn't one of my like livelier lives or gentler lives. But it was necessary because the U.S. is on some bullshit. Mm. Oh, who got a new face? Transition to Texas. Who got a new face? Didn't that weasel from Florida got a new face? Matt Gates. I saw a picture of him. He was looking sweet. And they just get all in you. Okay, I said I was about to rap, but I gotta say one more thing. Again, like not watching the RNC. I'm watching the lowlights, right? And I'm seeing the Colt 45s with the ear, Matt Gates with the pullback face, and all this other stuff. But when everything happened over the weekend with 45, and my first reaction, like many, was like, oh, so, the Supreme Court basically said, he can do whatever. And so maybe I'll let that hang in the air. So I said, oh, okay. So I said, look, I looked at the picture. I'm like, there's 3 female agents, right? In which one stops to like pick up his MAGA hat. And I'm looking at this like, not an Oscar award winning performance. And I'm watching this. And then, of course, right, I didn't know that the FBI director is female. So now, right, because the maggots are mad, right? Even though the shooter was Republican. So they're like, oh, blaming Obama. How? Right? So they go, DEI. DEI did this. What? So then when he showed up at the convention, days later, right, no female agents are allowed on the detail anymore. And the female director of the FBI, who was on the floor of the RNC, right, they chased her ass around the convention, got all up in her grill. Ooh, there ain't a bigger bitch than an angry white man. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, that was the last thing I wanted to say. My pleasure, my pleasure. All right, y'all. That was it for me tonight. I just definitely wanted to talk about this because it was something that affected many of us, right? Even if you're not planning to move abroad, you are a traveler. Many of us are. And my job is always to help us elevate and stay safe. I'll be back next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, be well, and I will see you soon. Ciao, ciao. Boa noite.